Hi, my name is Dan Hauptman, and I'm one of your instructional coaches in the Palmdale School District. And welcome to the class Creating Assessments in DnA. So, DnA does more than just your LPMs or your Mastery Guide assessments. You can also create assessments based on standard in DnA. Give it to the students through the student portal like we practiced in the last class. It's super easy. And so as you can see, I'm already in ClassLink. Let's go ahead and jump in and take a look and see how this works. So again, I keep all my icons in ClassLink in these nice little folders. I keep my DnA in my testing folder, so I'm going to go ahead and go into DnA. And there we go. So we talked about the tiles. All these tiles are all of the areas that you would go into based on the assessment you're going to give for LPMs. But we're not going to use any of these. We're going to create our own assessment. So you should have an idea of what standards you have been going over in class. And I'm going to go ahead and go over here to assessments. And knowing those standards is what's going to help you create the test. Now that I've gone into assessments, I'm going to go into create assessment. And I get a couple of choices. I've got on the fly, flexible, item bank, or skills. So on the fly, it creates a bubble sheet. It's not my favorite one to give because then you have to go back through and you have to scan them all. So I don't use that one at all. Flexible goes either way. You can either do it on paper or online. Skills is very much like the mastery guides. What you do is, let's say it's the letter A. You show them the letter A. They say that's the letter A says ah, and then you can give them a correct or incorrect on that skill. But the one we're going to look at is actually the item bank. The item bank has all of your questions in there, and that's where you find the standards and the questions that go with the standard. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the item bank. And it's going to ask me to give an assessment name. So I'm going to call this one Grade 4 Reading Comp R1. And I can always change that name based on what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and create that. So if it's already, it says there's no items. I know that. What's really cool about DnA, and I'm going to kind of take a segue, is that you can always create your own item if you have a question that you really like, but that's up to you. This video won't go through how to create an item, but if you want to know how to create your own questions and your own answers, let our department know and we'll help you out. So now that I'm in and now that I've taken that segue, let's come back and let's take a look at how to build this assessment out. I'm going to come right here to Browse Items. And I'm going to go ahead. I already have some standards built in. I'm going to go ahead and clear those all out. So I've got nothing in there that's going to start me out with any assessment. And it's time for me to build out this assessment. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to the filters, and under standard, I'm going to edit the base standards. And then I have providers, subjects, and grade levels. So the first area, providers, we're going to take a look at the Common Core content standards. If you're doing science, you could do NGSS. If you have any other standards that you would cover, you can check those here. But this is the one that we'll use most likely, Common Core state standards, content standards. The subject is going to be language arts, not math in this case. But if you're going to do math, you can always select math. I'm going to unclick math. And then grade level, I have it selected for grade 5, but we said grade 4. So I'm going to make it grade 4, and now I'm good to go. So I said that this was going to be grade 4 reading comp R1. So here is my literacy for R1. I'm going to go ahead and choose that one. I'm going to get rid of these other standards over here on the right. If you don't like a standard, you can clear all. Or if you like it, you can keep it, or you can click the X next to it and get rid of it that way as well. But I'm going to keep it with grade 4 RL1. There's no other standards that we have covered. I'm going to keep it with just that one single standard. And I'm going to go ahead and say done. Now over here on the left, we have where the items are coming from. The one that we're going to choose is we're going to choose the Inspect Premium questions. The Inspect Premium is where we find the questions. Don't do Palmdale School District. Don't worry about the Spanish add-on or the Mastery item bank. This is just for straight out language arts. Now, as I go through the questions, I'm going to take a look at the item types. For example, let's take a look at this question right here. This is a passage based on Pele and the Bowl of Poi. And so here's the reading. But if I want to see what questions, it says that there's 3 items, what questions goes with this reading or this reading, I'm going to click on the View 3 Items. So based on these 2 readings for RL1, I can choose which one. So this is a DOK2, in other words, and again, you need to read it and make sure this is what you want to go with. This looks like a good question that I'm going to use. So I'm going to add the item. Show less. So that's a multiple choice question. A hot text question is like this. What they do is, let me see if we can take a look at the question. But I believe they have to highlight the answer. So select 2 sentences below from the greatest God of all that show Vishnu is sincerely concerned. So they'll actually click on the answer. So I'm going to go ahead and add that one in. And then I have the multiple choice, and I'm going to go ahead and add that one. So I've got 3 questions just based on this reading right here. I'm going to go ahead and confirm that. And now I see my assessment. I'm back to where I need to be. If I want to see what this test looks like so far, I can preview, and I can select what would be the right answer on that number 2. So that kind of confirms of what we need to do there. When I'm done previewing it, I close. So I've got 3 questions on a DOK2. I'm going to keep it DOK2 for right now. If I want to have a DOK3, let's go ahead and put that one in there for right now. I've got 25 DOK3s. Again, that's really, you really take a look at it and make sure it's the DOK that you want. Here's one called The Mystery at the Library. They'll answer the questions, and then they'll have a part A and a part B to answer. I like that one, and I'll confirm. So other types of questions that they have in the item bank, they have drag in the blank. It's exactly what it sounds like. Hotspot I just showed you. You can chart, you can classify, you can have a constructed response. You can have them draw the response. There can be an evidence-based selected response, explicit constructive response, graphing, hot text. Actually, that one was hot text. Image drag and drop, inline drop down, matching, a table, matching list. They can write out a math equation. There's multi-part answers to it. Multiple binary, multiple choice, multiple select, number line, and ordering. These are all possibilities for questions in the assessments. So let me see if I can find a drop down. Let me see. We'll do an inline drop down. We'll see if they have any. Oh, good, they do. We'll use the flax. So in this one, what they do is as they're reading, they have to drop down these boxes to answer. So they read, answer the questions, and they can best complete the sentence. I like that one. And I'll confirm it. Oops. There we go. Now I have 5 questions in my assessment, and now I'm ready to go. It's everything I want it to be. I vetted all the questions. I vetted all the answers. It's right along with what I want it to do. I'm going to go ahead and up here, I'm going to change this to R4.1. And now I can say that I'm done. I can either save it as a draft, I can discard it completely, or I could publish it. Let's go ahead and publish it. And now you can see it's working. And now it's done. And it takes you right back to where the assessment is ready to go, just like with the LPMs. So I would click on online, and I would set up a portal window just like I would do for LPMs. So that's the same. So if you took the last class, you'll know how to do this. If you didn't, contact our department. We'll walk you through what to do. So let's say that you've given the assessment, the students are all done, they've submitted it all, and now it's time to look at the report. So you would go into reports, view reports. The report that I like to use for my own assessments, just the assessment matrix. It gives me a quick look at how the kids answered. So you would drill down to your site if you need to. It depends on your access or if you're at multiple sites, and whether you can see other teachers, but for sure, making sure you pick whatever class you had take that. Give it the assessment, and then you can also break it down however you want to. So you can, have it be horizontal or vertical, by student name or by percent correct, group it by question, group or standard. In this case, it was only one standard, and then include the color coding. So it's just a real simple report. And so that's under reports, view reports, and then I like the pre-built report type. There we go. For the matrix report. Feel free to kind of go around and check and see which one you like. You can always run different reports and see what works for you. As usual, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Good luck in your class.